Hi, my name is Jeremy Tallman, and I serve as the principal broker for T&H Realty Services. We're a full-service property management company serving the greater Indianapolis area. Today I want to talk about ways that a property manager can help protect your investment property. Obviously an important topic. There are a couple of things up front that I wanted to discuss. First off being tenant screening. I can't stress enough how important this is. Tenant screening is vital to ensure obviously that you get the right person in your property, which will go a long way in maintaining that property. The right people will maintain your property the right way, you hope. So there's some, I've had people over the years tell me, I had one guy tell me once, he said, I just really meet the tenant and I go with my gut feel. And that can be a dangerous proposition. Sometimes that may work out just fine. Other times it may come back to haunt you. There's that classic scenario where the tenant will show up the day of the showing with in cash the first month's rent and a deposit and want the keys, and that is obviously a huge warning signal to us, and they want to avoid the screening process clearly. So it's important that your property manager does create good screening checks to ensure that tenant will maintain your property the best way possible. One way you do that is simple credit check to make sure there's no judgments on their report. The other way is to a criminal background check is obviously important. There are tenant performance reports available that let the landlord know if there's ever been an eviction filed on that tenant. So those are all important checks. Obviously you want to talk to the landlord, the current landlord of the tenant, and more importantly make sure that you are talking to the landlord and not someone that's posing as a landlord, which sometimes unfortunately is the case. And obviously you want to confirm with pay stubs that they can afford the property. So again, tenant screening sets the stage for the whole thing. If you do good checks, you at least give yourself a very good chance of having a good tenant there to help maintain your property. Secondly, routine checks of the property are critical. There should be checks done prior to the tenant taking possession of the property to make sure everything is set up correctly, everything works, everything looks good, the stage is set for the tenant. Obviously a full move-in walkthrough is very important to document the condition and then have the tenant agree that, on the condition of the property through checklists. Videos are obviously good in that scenario as well. We also recommend renewal inspections. So when the tenant renews, there is a walkthrough done as well to ensure that the tenants maintain the property the right way. And then if they're not, taking corrective action to make sure that whatever needs attention is addressed. And finally, the move-out inspection is obviously needed to document the condition of the property so that any security deposit charges can be assessed, and then the owner can get the property in rent-ready condition again. So those are kind of a couple of major things that you can do to help protect your property. Finally, preventative maintenance is obviously really important. And the biggest thing being HVAC, to make sure that the AC is checked in the spring and that the furnace is checked in the fall, and head off any potential problems with those systems. It's very expensive for emergency maintenance, and if you do the preventative maintenance, the regular checks, you should curb some of those expenses and make your tenant happier too, so they won't have to go without heat or without air conditioning. Gutter cleaning, another thing you can do on a regular basis to make sure that the water is diverted away from the property correctly, and a whole myriad of other things from a preventative maintenance standpoint. Again, this is Jeremy Tallman with T&H Realty Services. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact us.